So not bad. I mean, not a bad young of the year male, maybe last year. So anyways, you just zip around this however you want to do it. Some people will go like straight down to the vent. Like right here I did on this side. On this side I wasn't able to get down all the way. So I just go right alongside that vent, pop it in there, and just meet up with that cut. After that, just right behind the asshole. Do it however you want to do it. And then I pinch it. You're going to be able to see the glands kind of coming up here. I'm going to go up above those and plunge through. And now my whole back gland is ready to be removed whenever I'm done. So one thing I like to do, I don't really get in too big of a hurry. I mean, I can skin these things pretty quick, but sometimes I'll rip them. So I just kind of go through and just give them a little like relief cut. I'm not like doing a whole bunch of, but just trying to break up some of that membrane, especially around this back flank, because that's where I tend to rip it. But it really, I mean, it kind of sucks if you're not good with both your hands skinning, I will say that. I'm not saying I'm good, but I have gotten a lot better from, if you ever look at any of my fur, it's usually this side that's cut because I'm left-handed. And then I go down right to that joint. I want to make sure I got it at least pulled down that far. And then I just work it around. And then I try and stay up close to that hide. And then I just do the same thing. So I'll come over here, like you can see, I'm gonna try and get up close to that membrane and then just pull on these things. So you can get down here and you can do a couple things. You can plunge through with something, you can kind of cut this around, but what I've found is if you will pull down here and then we'll work this belly open. I'll put the front legs in between my legs so it doesn't wobble around. And then I just kind of come up. If you're wanting to leave like the testicles on, it does give you a better, fuller presentation at the end. But I just try and leave as much of it on as I can. So like see, there's the testicles. We'll save those. But yeah, he's just a small guy. So now you've got him down. So like I said, remember this part? You can either plunge in. Well, if you want, now that you're down, you can rip this open. So you can just lean into it and you can go ahead, and your tail's pretty much already ready to rock and roll. So there's not a lot to do there. Go down the center of it. I split it. Go through. All right, make sure I'm good. And then I'm just going to pull that down. Yeah, it was starting to try and rip that. Anyway, so you're going to want to stay close to it, but I usually just give it a good little pull there, come to the front. Oh yeah, you're going to want to save your baculum. So you can try and cut it out this way and mess with it and be all slimy. I just push it right through like it's getting a red rocket. And then I can grab onto it, and I'm actually cutting all that extra membrane out of there, so you don't have to mess with that when you go scraping it as much. You still have to mess with it, but just not as much. Yeah, these are pretty easy. Canine to skin, really. The young ones, your best bet. I always use one of these little serrated tips that you can buy. I plunge it right through the ear. I got that move from Randy Smith, I think. Wolf in the Corn Belt. And then I just kind of work them down. I like to go up on underneath just to get like a little retraction there on the eyeball. Do the same thing down at the jaw. I just plunge in and you get your lip opened. And then I'm not, see how my blade is angled? That's how I'm cutting when I'm coming down. I'm not cutting straight into it. And that will save the integrity of your blade, the sharpness of your blade. And then you get to the cartilage, that's when you cut down. Pull that down, cut the bottom lip off. It's a fairly simple chore.
Cool, let's go.
Sit. Sit.
Here's a real day. I'm that hood, smoking the backwoods like a fiddle. I'm Jay-Z, mixed with some Hank 3, plus a little bit of mother. Little man, 6 swimming in hot sauce. Just tell me what you trying to spin. Got a blueberry farm by the crate, by the box. If I feel like going fishing, then my lake full of stock. Private chef.
When I see you again, I'll always love you, my friend. And I'm thankful for the times we had.
Think about this, dude. Everybody is around when you're winning. Everybody ain't around when you don't. I'm keeping it real, so just let them haters keep hating. We'll just keep making them mad. I'll ride it down with y'all anytime. Thank God for the times we've had.
We've grown without knowing where we were going, and the world was ours, but we
What do you think, buddy? Oh, you perked up, huh? You perked up now? You ready? Huh? Who's ready? Who's ready? Tell 'em what we got going on today, boys. Huh? It's the Chucka Man. Well, where we at, bud? Where we at? We gonna get him? Are you amped up? Tell me, huh? That's my boy. That's my boy. Oh yeah. You know it's go time. Got many a coyote here, haven't we? Many a coyote here. Hey, you gotta be dumb. You gotta be tough, man.
Oh, all right, what you got for me? Do your jib. Oh, yeah? He'll only go about that far, and then he'll just turn around. He'll get back with me and do the same thing. Got something. Good boy. Good job, bud. I didn't know there was water down here. Where they at? Not the birds. Come on. I like that trail. That's a nice trail, bud. I like that trail. Where they at? Where they at? Hey, stop. So we just got done walking this fence line. As you can see, it's like all the spokes meet up at the center down there. That's where we found that nice snaring crossover pathway. Probably set a few traps down in that area. There was a pile of scat down there, and actually up in the middle of the field where we just walked. Come on, old man. Come on. Hey. Good boy. I do like that rock. I just don't really like it right there. Perfect. Hey. Kind of see what he does. Where they at? Where they at? Away from me. Where is it? What is it? I'm still coming. I'm coming. I'm gonna put 2 dirt holes there, and then got a nice little neck down spot. Threw in a snare. There's also a snare right over there in between that tuff. They're coming down, and with it being so dry, I think they're getting into this water, which you can tell with the canine tracks right here. So put in another snare right here. I'm gonna neck it down a little bit. Just getting stuff ready, not setting anything, just getting it ready for when we go out. And like I said, there's in that tuff right here. Now I've been doing that nuisance job, and it's been about, I think, 4 days since that male was captured out there, and then caught the female today. Looks like just another young one. I'll end up getting this coyote skinned out later this evening after I get back from work. I'm gonna let it hang. Hopefully, you know, everything will kind of go down into the rib cage. And it's pretty cool in here, sitting at about 50 degrees. So we'll see how it pans out. Also, I ended up hanging up all these hoses. Probably not the best way to do it, but it's how I'm gonna do it for right now, because I'm really not gonna be using the hoses at all. I'm gonna probably be putting most of my stuff in the freezers. So until I need to use them, I'll keep them up there. At least they're out of my way when I'm walking through. So been running this nuisance job now, and it took us about, I want to say 3 or 4 days to catch that first coyote. It was a young male, and then kind of went dead for another 3 to 4 days, and then we caught the female yesterday, and actually picked up another one today. So that's three coyotes taken off just this small little 10-acre piece. They've been, causing wreaking a little havoc, to say the least, on his deer blind and where his spot is for his deer. So they had been coming in about every night and kind of messing up his setup. So it's really nice. I thought, maybe we'd pick up one, and I just keep picking them up. So that's good. And caught the male, caught the female yesterday, and so I'm kind of curious to see what we, what's in the trap today. And I was getting ready to go to work. I have to go run the clinic today at the urgent care. I was like, well, I got to go out there and get that, see what's going on. We'll get it taken care of. All right. He's out in the, see where the gravity wagon kind of goes. Good spot, man, good spot. So I've had some guys asking me about doing like a gland removal, and pretty much where I'm going to start is you've seen me do so this is the separation from like the vulva to the anus, and then you're going to have your glands sitting right here. So you just literally pick up, pinch up. So just slide under. You can see where the tract's running. You're going to see the glands right above that, and then you can just zip that right up through. So what I like to do with this, and I don't know, a lot of guys talk about leaving it on. I think cutting these off, but if you're going to want to train a dog, you can use this later on to train your dog. You can just let this dry out, and then you can place these all around your property or somewhere where you're going to actually train the dog at. Then reward them if they do find it, and do whatever behavior or treatment you want to do if they don't find it. Those are the two big ones. Then you're going to have your glands. You can already see that one sitting out. It looks like a little bean. You're going to have your other one right here, and you can honestly just pick those out with your finger. And then this one's right here. Sometimes you'll see that little membrane, and you can push it out, and then you just got to pop it through, but then you can just peel it off. Sometimes, and it's okay if you want to cut. Okay, so this coyote's been sitting here for just a minute. It doesn't look terrible, but you can tell it's a little bloated. So we're gonna try and take the bladder out. See what we got, what we're working with. And yeah, so everything's pretty much bloated up. You can see all the gas starting, but that right there, that's gonna be what your bladder is gonna look like. So that's pretty much deflated. Now, if you ever run into an issue where you can't find the bladder, it could be because the bladder is enlarged and it's just sucked down. The only reason everything's pushed up right now is just because this coyote's set. So you can tell there's gas, like things are starting to build up bacteria. So that's why we want to get this processed as soon as possible. Now, I'm not going to go through a whole lot of the other glands, but I do have some videos on the master class. And there's glands that sit in here behind the shoulder blades, and you can cut that open and you can find these glands. All you got to do is peel that, and you can see them in there. And then you can do the same on this side, and then you can go up underneath the armpit, and you can follow this membrane line and just dig your finger in, and that'll get you to the gland. You can do the same on this side. Just follow that membrane line, and then that'll get you to the gland right up there. And it's really, really easy to do, but I'm not going to do it to this coyote just because I have so many glands, and I'm just going to start cherry picking the ones that are necessary. Another thing you could do, and if this coyote wasn't as bloated, I would, but you could kind of field dress them a little bit, and then you could take out the gallbladder, and then keep the juice from the gallbladder and put that in. What I always do is I try to follow the Russ Carman theory, and that's about, I think it's 1 gall per 10 canine, or roundabout. I would have to reference back to his book, but I think that's the roundabout. But that's really pretty much it. And then the only other thing we're going to do is, since they don't have a baculum, since this was the female, the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the head off and keep the skull. We'll show that on another video, but that's going to be something that's going to be kind of graphic. So if you see it, just you've been warned.